From the first second, use the Paras intellect, the divine intellect. Last few hours, we see them as a film, as a movie. It could even be last one day, entire day, till this second. It is all a movie, a performance on the stage. Many things are needed for a performance. Sound is needed, actions are needed, different roles and variety masks. We see all of that as an observer. The invisible observer is passing through different scenes. The observer can now come out of the movie. He can now come into his home, the region of red light. This is the supreme sky. The supreme friend is present here in the form of a tiny point of light. This is the world of stillness. There is internal joy, internal happiness. We know that there is a story there is a drama that is still going on at the moment. All the sounds that can be heard are from the performance that's going on. We stay here in this region of light. Red color and red light. All are safe here. Each one is secured. The invisible point of light is comfortable to be nothing more than a point. There is no desire to be anyone more than a point. The more we spend time in this supreme sky, Maya cannot cause any trouble. This is the method to keep Maya at a distance. The more one spends time in this supreme sky with the supreme friend and the family, Ravan shrinks in these moments. We disengage with Ravan. This is like realizing our own potential and our own power. Anyone can start using Paras and create magic for themselves. Each one has the right to use Paras. the divine intellect, and create results, create magic. Magic is to enjoy the story as a story. Magic is to see wonder and beauty in every scene. And the last time we saw how this, artificial intelligence, you know, of Maya, works within us in the form of postponing, in the form of somehow keeping us convinced that we are the role. You know? Anytime there is this, mind, my own mind is working in this manner of convincing me, justifying that I am the role, then it is Maya. So sometimes actions may be necessary, but which actions to take, when to take, that can all be decided from the place of stepping back first. So only remedy is to step back first, that I'm not the role, come out of this conviction, come out of this convincing. So it works in the form of postponing. It's very hard, it's difficult, it's impossible to achieve this. So it works in all of these ways. But the easiest thing for someone is to be who they are, right? So it will be for the point of light. The easiest thing is to be the point of light. Yes, we have we have sort of tried to become that example of chicken and eagle, the story of eagle and chicken, how that eagle, baby eagle, was convinced that he is part of the chicken. Have you heard that story? No? No? So coming to the story, so there was a one time there was this group of chickens, and they had an egg. So the egg was not of the chicken, but it was egg of an eagle. So after a while, baby eagle was born out of that egg, and it looked different. But the chicken, all they knew was to be a chicken, so they brought him up in that manner. So, and that baby eagle also tried to fit in with the chicken. Chicken, he used to walk like the chickens. He used to, bend like a chicken. He used to do everything like all the other chicken. And one day he saw, some eagles flying high. And so he told, his chicken friends that, who is that? That is so amazing. He's flying so high, and who is that? And they said that is, the king of all birds, and that is eagle. But you are a chicken, so we can't do that. So then he went back to being a chicken and continued like that, and he died like that as well. So he lived his entire life like being a chicken, and then he died like a chicken, never realizing and that he was not the chicken. So all the souls, invisible observers and guests, they have tried to be everything, and they are, quite good at that. Being a doctor, being an engineer, being a mother, all of that. But the easiest thing for them is to be the guest, be the observer. So for the chicken, easiest thing would have been to be a chicken, and for an eagle, easiest thing is to be an eagle. Just that because he has forgotten, he needs a hint. But the day he would have got that hint, you are an eagle, he would just have flapped his wings and fly. So take the flight. So same way here, we don't need to analyze too much and go into questions. But simplest thing is for the guest to be the guest. It is difficult for the guest to be a mother and a father and a teacher and CEO and prime minister. That is very difficult because he is not that. But for this invisible soul, to be the soul, that is the simplest of all things. He is divine, he is angelic, he is, his personality is not of a victim. He's a master. So for him to be a victim, that is difficult to be convinced. And programming of belief systems of many even lifetimes have told him that no, you are a victim to this situation, you are a slave to this and that. But now we just get the hint, so you just take the hint and apply. Yeah, just fly. So every time we use this word meditation, we use this word creating time, stepping back, all it means is fly. All it means is leave everything here, leave the physical world, leave the story, and just stay in the supreme sky, just fly. And that is the most powerful thing. It has a lot of benefits, not just spiritually, but even physically, as we saw. Our genetic impressions change, our patterns, deepest patterns of thinking, they all change because you're creating a gap. So, um, yes, we can look at any comments or questions we can take from the last few sessions. Mhm. Is all good. So, let's see. No, another good thing to do is to create this sketch. Whenever you get time today, make this sketch and keep it somewhere that you can see it on a regular basis on your desk or wherever you can see it. And important to mention few things, which is entry, exit. It's good to mention these things. And this world, what does this world feel like, look like? So this is, there is stillness, there is silence, there is security, and this is the sky, supreme sky. The supreme friend is also here. And for this world, you can write different words like performance going on. Everything has a beginning and an end, unpredictable. So making this sketch and keeping it, somewhere where you can see it. Yeah, I can make that. So this will naturally be very beneficial in the long run. So we can maybe get them in. Any questions from here? Any questions at this point? Today we will also look at something that is important for everyone, which is the law of karma. So how this law of karma is working. So far we saw it's so when we understand this law of karma, what we are understanding is who is our friend and who is the enemy. So this is the invisible star, and we saw that the friend of this invisible being is supreme friend, supreme being. I'll just go with the easy spelling. Supreme being is the friend of this soul. And enemy, who is the enemy? Who is the enemy of this being? Stone intellect. Stone intellect, yes. And stone intellect being used is Ravan. So we'll say Ravan, Maya, stone intellect, but precisely stone intellect is the enemy because it keeps me, away from who I am. So that is so this divine intellect and company of supreme being is the friend. Now, this law of karma, which is working within this, these laws are working at this level of the stage, just like we saw. All of these are laws, beginning and end, unpredictable, um, law of gravity, many different laws. So another law that is working at this stage is the law of karma. Mm. Out of many laws, this is one of the laws. Now, as when we look at this law of karma, this is working at the level of this entire physical world, which we will, in this session, we will call this, entire physical world or this world stage as a nature. People use different words, universe and this and that, but we'll use the word, nature. So all the five elements and all the situations that we get, circumstances, they are part of this nature. One example of how nature is always working for us, and that's why we can say that nature is also our friend. Nature is also the friend of this invisible guest. Yes? So one enemy and two friends. An example of how nature is a friend, we can see, very simple example. If we ever get, you're cooking or doing something and you get a burn, you get burned, then within, fraction of seconds, we will witness that within fraction of seconds, many, many different, you know, things happen within our body, many different mechanisms start within our body to go towards this area of burn, and they create a shield, and if there is bleeding then there will be clot, and naturally without me doing anything, the body, which is part of this natural system, which is part of the nature, will work in many many ways, to heal this wound that I have created. So this is one of the simplest examples of how this natural system, this nature, is constantly there to protect, acts as a friend, and wants to keep the guest also safe and also protect the body, keep the body also functioning well. So this is an example. Another example, if you eat something that is unhealthy, or you eat something which is very not good, right, for the body, then immediately nature will take some steps. There will be some reaction that you get it out of the system. Yes. So without you knowing anything, you've consumed something, but without you knowing, body will create this reaction to get it out of the system. In both examples that we discussed about nature, one is burning of your finger and another one is eating something that is not right. Any common points between these examples that you can think of? Anything that is common in both things? Apart from that, nature is healing. Apart from that,
It's not in our control.
what is not in the control? In our control,
The action, whatever happens, the reaction, it's not in our control.
the reaction is not in our control. Okay. What else is common?
Action is in our control.
Actions are in our control. What you consumed is in your control. How you were cooking is in your control. Yeah, to avoid that thing. Yeah, excellent. Anything else common? What was the person experiencing? What was the experience of the invisible observer in both these experiences? Struggling, there was pain. Yes. So pain was the common factor in both these situations. and there was healing, provided by nature, which is good. So we what we discussed just now was, one is physical pain. So there is a cause of physical pain, not taking care of the actions or not being considerate. Then there is physical pain, and nature, it works in its own way to heal the pain. If there is some sort of, um, yeah, I think just talking about this is also part of physical pain, but more like, medical conditions. Some medical conditions, if you look at them, migraine or headaches or some bone muscle pain, all these sort of things. Even in these painful situations, some patients, when they go to see their doctor, they know that if they can um, observe that when I eat this certain type of food, then I start getting this reaction. As soon as I've taken like 3 bites of this, there is this pain that starts. So if they avoid it, then there will be no pain. Yeah, whatever they are, for some people it is lactose and gluten, these sort of things. So if they avoid it, there is no serious situation, illness. Otherwise, then there are reactions. So yeah, even in medical conditions at the level of body, there is a reason for why this migraine, this headache, and all these sort of things exist. There is a reason. Yeah? And the reason is much more deeper than just a physical symptom, but there is an emotional reason to all of this pain. So even physical pain, medical conditions, and third type of pain that we are looking at is emotional pain. So emotional pain, not feeling good or feeling hurt or feeling revengeful, feeling stressed. All of these are emotional pains. Depression and all these conditions, they are all emotional pain. So any type of pain is telling me that something is not right. Yes, every pain is acting like a message. So while we are, traveling through this, you know, performance, while we are traveling from one scene to the other, anytime there is an experience of pain, pain is a message. Yes? Pain is like a message. It's a messenger, and it is a signal that is telling me to check something within me. And what is it telling me to check? So it is telling me to check my spiritual alignment, my spiritual positioning. So when we spoke earlier in terms of when the souls have just arrived on this um, physical world, then the picture, if you look at the internal minds of each soul, then this is how it looks like. Yeah, there is the real I that is working. So this is the picture. But after a while, we get a different sort of picture for each one, and many different identities based on this physical world. Then the real I is somewhere at the back. So nature will always give messages. You know, when you ignore emotional pain, then it becomes a medical condition, and then it can also become a physical condition. So it starts from here. Yes. And how does it start? nature is giving messages to tell me that somewhere there is a wrong I that is that is working, that is ruling my mind. So anytime there is pain, underneath is an identity, because pain is a message that the real I is not at the front line. Yes, he is sleeping, and there is an identity that is ruling. So, law of karma is basically how many identities each one has created. So, law of karma is not between each one. It's not between two individuals, or it's not between group of people and this and that. But mainly, law of karma is how many identities I myself have created. And the more identities I have created, for my own self, then nature will bring situations, the sort of characters to get rid of those identities. But every time that identity is, you know, um, triggered, there will be pain. Pain is the message that there is an identity working here. So do you get? So if I remove identities, if I start dissolving these identities, then same characters can be around me, same sort of situations can come, but pain will not be there. I will not experience pain. Anytime experience of pain is present, then it is an indicator that identities are there. And for each one, these yeah, it's like a nice way of decoding, your pains. Mm. So law of karma, basically decoding what sort of identities have I created. Karma is basically these identities that I have created. Yes. So if I have created an identity, as an example, if there is a soul who plays the role of a professor at a university, and he has a huge identity based on, I'm the professor. Yeah. So what sort of situation will nature bring to wake him up or give him a message? Because nature acts as a friend, but this friend starts with pain. Like we are talking about the supreme being, supreme friend, he will not cause pain. Yeah, you will just, if you stay in that company, your identities will get dissolved. So I remember, that there are certain type of, people in the family. If I ever, said to my mother that, tomorrow I have something urgent, wake me up early in the morning, then she has her own way of doing it. She will probably put alarms and she will wake me up. This is the time. Same thing, with my brother. If I tell him, wake me up, he can be standing with a glass of, water. Yeah. So that's his way. Both are friends. Both are, aiming for my benefit, but method is different. So God's method is different. Nature's method is very different. Can give you a bucket of ice in the morning, yeah, to wake you up. So that's the message. So before that, it is beneficial, but there is pain involved in that. So there are two types of methods. So in this case of a professor who has this a soul who has this huge identity, I am a professor. Then what is one way of nature acting as a friend for him?
Change his role.
Hmm?
Change his role.
Change his role. Yeah.
Students feel him.
Students?
Pain.
Yeah, students are not happy with him. And what will be the, sure short way to, get him out of this identity?
Fire.
Yeah, fire him. Yeah. So his whole identity is around his whole, Ravan is surviving on the basis of I am this position, I am this position. That position is taken away. The next day, you're not a professor. You wake up and you're not a professor. So that's like a one sure short way of getting rid of the identities. So before that huge thing happened, There are many small messages like students are not happy, this and that, small messages. But then, this big message, which is that it is removed. His role is dissolved. There is no more role. Um, if he decodes the message, takes that message, corrects his spiritual alignment, then there is no need of that message. He can go back to going work and he can get another job, but this time there won't be an identity. If he's careful, there shouldn't be an identity. So each of these identities, they are also like bubbles. So situations come and different things happen, with nature. It brings different situations and characters to, hit this bubble. So there will be pain every time this bubble is, touched, then there is pain. We say ego is hurting, his ego is hurt and this and that. So there is pain. But till if you don't decode that message and you don't um, take that message and remove this identity, till then there are constant messages, but then this bubble has to be popped. So that is like a big situation. So big situation happens and that bubble is popped. So any you were saying something?
So, too many thoughts on
Yeah.
this actually, but maybe I'll start with in a practical context, we are playing different identities. So how not to get that identity to overpower our soul is the question. Like it's maybe easier to understand in a professional context, but in a personal context, like we have so many different roles, mother, daughter, wife, partner, whatever. So, and each of the identities we have to enact every day. So, what we're saying here is, um, like I understand in theory, but just trying to still think how to not let that identity overpower. That's the main essence of our
Essence.
everyday lives.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What is the mindset while playing? If I see all these identities are not necessary. Roles are there, but identification to that role is not a must. So I can be playing. Home or professional or personal life, it's all the same. Roles are roles everywhere, same as there is a role of a professor, there is a role of a mother. But can I see it as a role, or do I see it as identification is absolutely a must? So if identification is must, attachment is must, then pain will be there. But if I understand that identification to that is not necessary, so this mindset of guest comes in here. Really a guest. If I am a guest and I have to make food for 500 people or I have to clean the house for 20 people to stay, I don't need this attachment that I'm doing it, or I'm a mother and I have to do it. I don't need that attachment, just this consciousness that I'm a soul visiting this world. So that this is where this practically comes in our day-to-day roles. This is where it comes in. Another example is another mindset, is of trusting. Like you have been given something to take care of. It can be taken back from you at any point because it doesn't belong to you. So just like office gives us a mobile phone, laptop, so you've been given that. You're a trustee to that. You use it every day, but without attachment. Without attachment, how does it look like? Without using something without attachment, there is responsibility, there is care, there is, no margin of taking it for granted. But yeah, you are okay that next second it is taken away from me, you are okay. Because to start with, you knew that it's not mine. Yes. So with all our roles and all the other, responsibilities, it is this mindset that approaches each role and each act. So this mindset it has to be present. Littlest of thing, a child saying something and I'm feeling bad and hurt. It's an example of, pain message. It's a pain message. We can't, because of, these attachments, we use a different mindset to overcome that pain. And the method of overcoming that pain can be, oh, it's my child, no problem, but he's only mine. Next time, bigger message will come, because we're using attachment to heal the pain. So same child then becomes a teenager and then is not telling you anything. There's so much pain. So it started somewhere, somewhere these messages started. And at that point, when a child, now is doing whatever they like and all that, so people say, how do I manage that now? The way to manage that now is really to step back. Because if I had stepped back at that moment, 5 years, previous, 5 years, then it wouldn't have led to this point where it is now. So now that have more urge to control, I have more desire to control them and dictate them, then there will be another bigger message. So the only way to, you know, come out of these pain messages is to step back. Maya will never agree to this. Maya cannot agree to these ideas, because it is not there to, if it agrees, then it has to go out. So Maya will not agree to these ideas. But the more I make Paras strong, then these ideas are entertained. Because in ordinary life and ordinary situations, to heal pain, more attachment logic is used. And the another pain, there are more attachment, logic of more attachment. So we don't use wisdom, but we actually use my, but ultimately is my this and that, and then we forgive. But that is not forgiveness. Yeah? That is not acceptance. That is just making that identity even bigger. So the only way to heal that message is to, step back, no expectations, withdraw your desires, withdraw expectations, and then see. So if this was an example of a professor. Another example is, of a wife who has an identity, huge identity based on her husband, who is very popular, who's a very good man. And she has this identity as a very good man. And whenever you meet her, she keeps talking about her husband all the time. So what is the way nature is going to heal? Nature is going to wake her up. What sort of situations will come?
You need to distance somehow.
Yeah, there can be distance between them somehow. What else? Anything else?
Have a shaky relationship. Same thing.
Yeah, shaky relationship. Yeah. And still the identity is bigger and bigger. He's a very good man, this and that. What else can happen? Yeah. Yeah. No, but you can say it because that is the answer. Yeah.
Husband leaves her.
Yeah, husband leaves her. Yeah. Gets to another woman. So these are all situations that are happening, all the time. And in our setup, usually the mother has a lot of attachment to sons, and father has to daughters. And same, the father who has so much love for the daughter, 5 years later, he's the one cursing her and she's the one cursing him. I wish you were never my dad. And now princess has become something else. So all these situations, this is not love and all that, but this is, you see, these are identities, strong identities. And wherever I create identity, then there has to be a message. There's after a while, same thing, same person, it becomes a message.
So, is it still wrong in having those identities but not doing any harm? Like, if someone feels that okay, they are a daughter of a proud father, as an example, they use that identity to encourage themselves to do good in life or take decisions without harming anybody. Let's say it's such a pure soul that they don't do any harm. Even then, that identity, that setting up that identity to use it positively is not good.
Yeah, there is no, there is same thing that, we said previously that so many, good people around us, all those, as I spoke about this wife, she's always appreciating her husband. She's not doing anything wrong. She's not harming anyone. In fact, someone will say she's so virtuous, she's always seen good in her husband. But so identities don't work like good or bad. It's right or wrong. Do you have the right positioning? No, then no matter how good you are, everyone is telling her you are so good, you are so lucky. But then she gets this huge message. So if identity is there, there will be messages. Mm. So that's why, we were saying all the people who say they are so good and so kind, they are hurting the most and they are, always in pain, always crying, always, why? Because being, what we said, being good is not the point. Yeah. Being good is not the mission. Being, you know, changing this position to this is the mission. Till this happens, then no matter how good you are, how good you speak about others, it's all irrelevant because ultimately pain keeps coming. So I'm so good and I'm doing good to others and I'm talking good about others, but I'm bedridden and my legs don't move and I'm always hurting, always crying. So these are sort of, good model has to change. Good model has to change to the model of truth. So nourishing the truth, real I, is the only method. Today I am using those identities to encourage myself. Tomorrow father dies. My whole life has now collapsed. There's no reason to live. Now I'm just thinking I'm having suicidal thoughts. So no, I didn't harm anyone. But in that process, I harmed my own self, my own truth. So yeah, that is why, Sita feels that I should cross the line. I'm not harming anyone. I'm just taking that baby deer. I'm not harming anyone. But then see what she puts herself into. She's not harming anyone, but Ravan is now losing her. So, mm. So many, examples like this you can keep thinking of. There is, there was another, there's another lady in Brahma Kumaris in UK, and she used to be, a dancer, and she used to be a very good dancer, very beautiful one, and she was, very a good performing arts was her main USP. So she had an accident, and her entire, body was okay. Many people were with her, and they had broken leg and bruised this and that, a lot of bruises. But she didn't have any of those, bruises. But her entire face was bruised. mm. And the minute she woke up, she was conscious. She was shown the mirror, and she started, crying. That entire face, blue black, and she was just looking like thing else. So that day she realized that, that identity with physical appearance was so strong that everything was okay, but only her face. And so she really, reflected and contemplated, and she thought, what's the, what have I done wrong in this entire thing? So this was the wrong positioning, that I am at the center of the stage, I look good, attractive, all this. And then she, while in that hospital bed, she was contemplating and she used to spend time listening to the knowledge, working on herself. And all that, doctors said to her is impossible to fix this face and this and that. All of that was healed, miraculously. Everything was healed. She was, looking exactly the way she was. Her, all the marks were gone, which doctor said we cannot guarantee this, we cannot guarantee that. From day one, whatever they said is not possible, everything was possible, everything worked. So how nature also give rewards. Nature is not, it is a friend. So it is giving you this pain message whenever you're out of alignment. As soon as you're in alignment, it also gives rewards. Mm. Just like that is why we use this model of a guest, because every guest, you know, deserves hospitality. Right of a guest is to be treated, honored. So if you know that you are a guest and you act like a guest with children, with whatever, if you be a guest, then you are honored. If you are not a guest, then you are not honored. Then think of a guest who has forgotten he is a guest. He has to be kicked out. Somehow you find ways to, kick him out. So in this entire physical world, the one who is a guest, the one who remembers to be a guest, the one who creates time consciously being a guest is honored. Different roles, different situations, and even in that honoring, you don't create arrogance out of it, but guest will always be honored, will be rewarded. So as we said, last time, no, I don't think I said it here, but nature gives pain, and also nature, why it gives pain is because nature always wants to give all of us, health, wealth, and happiness. This is what nature wants to give. So it is also working to keep your body healthy. It is also working to, keep you wealthy and to keep you happy. But provided you are a guest. If you're not a guest, then you get pain. So no health, no wealth, and no happiness. So there will be struggle at all these three levels. So this is the picture that we have to go back to internally. So we often, project this using this law of karma. We project, this one is treating me this way. What did I do to them? How did was I this bad to them? But it's actually one of my identities that is being, triggered by their presence, by this person. And if I drop this identity, they can be doing the same things. They can be doing everything the same, but there is no pain. Or this person will be completely taken out of my situation, my, the reality or my circumstances completely. So someone sent me this video today of someone was saying that whenever you are, traveling on a destination, you're driving, and you have to, there is a risky drive and you have to drive really high, on a mountain top. Then you don't then you take a vehicle which has, less people, like you successful people will take a Ferrari or only two-seater car. You don't take a bus. Yeah. So as you keep, rising high, then the right sort of people, the right sort of minds, they will keep, you will continue in your journey. Others can be, you may have interactions, but not those deep sort of, relations that you had before. So those, all of that depends on what is my internal alignment. So if I am, we use the word, posture. If my internal posture is correct, then everything is okay. If I am sitting in a wrong posture, then I will experience pain. That's obvious. But if I correct my posture, then I will have no pain. Yeah? If I have a wrong lifestyle, I'm not sleeping at the right time, then there is pain. So same way, if the soul is out of alignment, there will be pain, no matter how good you are. But if you're out of alignment, there is pain. So each one is has to work on their own karmic accounts, which is the identities they have created for themselves. Sometimes we create, the identities that we have created. We may change situations, we may change something externally, but we get the same sort of personality, same sort of person, personalities that you don't like in different people. So till I remove something here, that will keep coming, or that will keep causing pain. So I think Linda had asked a question some time ago, which was on some, people treating me badly. Yeah, there was a question like how, what to do when people treat you badly. So again, see, there is an identity with the role. And because of that identity, the role wants to be treated in a certain way. So if I don't remove this identity with this role, then this will keep happening. And anyways, that is how the drama is. Some will like you, some will not like you. That continues. That is part and parcel of the performance. But if I have a feelings based on that, someone likes, then I have feelings. If someone dislikes, I have feeling. That tells me the identities are there. Yeah. So the bottom line is identity based on role, identity based on appearance, identity based on any responsibility. Till I drop that, there will be pain. And first, there are smaller messages, but then there are big, intense messages. Just like if you're trying to reach someone, you call them 5 times, they don't pick up, then you take severe actions. So just like that. How to, this is, I want to say something. It is like, what they say in Hindi, that entire Ramayana is finished and we ask who is Ram. These sort of questions. So now, Damini and the other person will tell how to come back to alignment and how to remove identity. Yeah. How do you find out which identity it is that is causing pain? From the feelings, from the feelings that we have, we can find out which identity it is. In case of, yeah, it will be, if I'm feeling like not taken seriously, treated badly. So who is being treated badly? The role. So I know that this is for the role. If it is in a professional environment, then it is identity to that role, being a manager, being. So we can see based on my expectations, based on my feelings, which identity is it based on. So expectation is if my children treat me that way, it's not a problem. But if my in-laws treat me that way, it's a big problem. So why? Because there is this identity. So the feelings and mainly our expectations give us an indication of which identity is triggered, which identity is being given a message.
But isn't there like a line of self-respect as well? Like if in every situation we will think that that's okay, however someone is treating us, we forego because we are getting too attached to the identity. We are not that role. It's okay, it's okay. But then sometimes if that line of self-respect is also crossed, then that becomes a never-ending hurdle, or it's even prolonged. Um,
Self-respect is ultimately, respecting the self, which is this. So this self is, peaceful. It is silent. It is not a beggar. It is not a victim. If I respect myself, then I respect these values. This is what I respect about myself. That I don't need to beg from anyone to have manners, to talk to me in a certain way. So till I have this expectation or this begging, then I'm disrespecting myself. So first, let me completely come into self-respect. I don't actually need to beg, even begging some common sense, begging some, because this whole world right now is like Ravan's kingdom. So it is like I'm expecting from Ravan to have some common sense, expecting Ravan to have manners. Each one, is ruled by Ravan. So first, let me have there's no desire, there's no begging. That is giving myself respect. And if I'm sure I'm doing that and still some things are maybe not right. Yeah, I can express them. I can take whatever actions are needed. Like if I am given this laptop and this thing to work on, so I will obviously I'm using it. And if there is a child who comes with a hammer and wants to break the laptop, obviously I'll, protect it. But there is no identity involved in that. You see, it's just taking care of it. Yeah, there is no projection on that child. I will not say, go, break it. That's not a problem. I'm in self-respect. So I will, take the actions, which is to tell his mother keep him with you, these sort of things. So that tells me that I'm not creating any identity. Basic measures I'm taking, and that is so objectively, rationally I'm approaching everything, and then that's fine. So same with kids, and same with everything that is being given to the guest to continue to play the role. Everything, the house, the job, the characters, all of that is given. And so I will take some necessary actions if when child is crying or something has happened at school. I'll take the actions, talk to the principal, this and that. But it is not. I have to keep checking my own position that no one else can do it for me. I will know what is my intention behind it. What is my agenda behind it? Am I being defensive? Am I being offended? Am I feeling? If I am operating from a zone of beggar, begging, then whatever results are created, ultimately they backfire. I may be working from this mindset of we are minority, we are migrants, we are treated this way, taking some actions, and they are implemented. But that begging will not go. And it may, people will say, oh, you have so much self-respect, you took the right action. But I know that it comes from this place of begging. So if I ignore it once, then again a different situation will come. So let me, keep this conscious awareness 24 hours of the day, remind it every hour. Am I begging anywhere? Am I expecting anywhere? That is all disrespecting myself. That comes in disrespecting myself. So, mm. Characters can do anything. If characters, we won't say, Cinderella will not say that, this step sisters are disrespecting me. This is all they are characters. They have to play the role. So that is not the problem. But problem is the role, the soul who is playing the role of Cinderella, if she is getting hurt at night, then that is a problem. Getting confused is the problem. So nothing is actually happening to me. I'm not the victim. And how do I, also check that same situations can now happen, but my response to those situations tells me where am I? Yeah. So earlier I may have gotten rejected to an interview, for an interview that I went, there's a rejection. And my response tells me that there's an obvious identity. Yeah. Now I'm working on myself. Again, a rejection happens in the interview. What is my response to that? Hmm? Am I still, that anxious, panic, or I can quickly, move on. So we we see that this situation is now not causing that much pain. Yeah, there is some progress, or it's not causing any pain at all. Yeah, in fact, I can see that, oh, something good is coming up. That is my natural thought. So we can check ourselves on the basis of situations, but also the other way around. What is my response to those situations? Because situations, ultimately in the drama, different situations will keep happening. It doesn't mean that I'm fully conscious and my body is perfect, I'm 90 years old and perfect. No, things will still keep coming up. There is a fever, there is a tumor, something will keep happening. But my response to that, am I utterly shaken by it? Am I just, collapsing by the news? Or I'm, okay. Yeah. So guest is ready to leave, guest is in that consciousness. So this needs to be checked. So we know why it is happening. So for our, you know, um, entire journey, pain can come and pain will go, once you decode the message. But we don't need sorrow, to experience sorrow. We don't need the experience of sorrow to live our life. It's like, we hear that happiness and sorrow both are part of your life. You get half and half of both. But the spiritual statement is that you don't need sorrow. You don't need sorrow, you create sorrow. You stop creating sorrow, you don't have it. So you completely, there is an option to internally have 100% happy life. No one is, there is no compulsion on feeling sorrow. Situations can happen the way they are supposed to, and the soul can remain free. So that is your free will that you have. Free will is to step out any minute, and it will be easier to step out the lesser identities there are. Yeah, more identities, so it's like a web. So once you get in it, then you are entangled. So you have to come out of the web. Yeah. And someone was saying that any web that you look at is so beautiful. If you look at a web, it is so beautiful, but you have to come out of it to see the beauty. If you are trapped in it, then it's not beautiful. So it's so intricate and so, precise and so much happening there. But come out of it, then it's nice. If you're in it, then it's horrible. So get coming out of these identities. Main thing is to come in the sky, spend more time there, and while these messages keep coming, decode them. Decode every emotional pain. Something as little as they didn't apologize. It's a pain. No, it's not letting me focus. It's not letting me, that thought is coming again and again. So it's an emotional pain. If I ignore it today, it gets bigger tomorrow. Yeah, any pain that you have and you ignore it, you don't take the medication, then it becomes bigger. It becomes worse and worse with time. So any emotional pain has to be addressed then and there. I have to come to my spiritual alignment. Otherwise, it gets worse. Today it is, they didn't say sorry. Tomorrow it will be, why did I give them birth and this and that. So it will go to next level. And it will go because Maya will take us to that next level. It is designed to do that. So, yeah. Any other comments? Any other questions?
I have so till now, like mostly what I have heard, not sure about others, is like karma is you do good, you'll get good. In simple terms, that's how we understood karma. Always make sure you don't hurt anybody. If you hurt anybody, it'll come back to you. Whatever you do will come back to you. So this is a very different perspective of karma. I think that when we are not focusing on our interactions with others, we are more focusing on what happens within ourselves. So just, I think just a thought that it's a very different way of looking at the law of karma.
Yeah. And see, everything starts from how I believe myself to be, or who I believe myself to be. Everything starts from there. So if I believe myself to be, let's say, a professor, naturally I'm going to see you as a student. And you're a student, then I have a clear, you know, do's and don'ts for you, what you can do, what you can't do. So my interactions will are good till the student is doing all the do's and is avoiding all the don'ts. The day he is doing all the don'ts, then I will say, oh, my karma so bad and such a problem. But what is happening is, to begin with, neither my internal position for myself is that I am a soul playing the role, and even for him I don't have this vision that this is a soul. The in this entire relationship, it is going well and it is looking all good because you are fitting in my notes of what is good. you know. So actually, power, or actually good karma, is that you can abuse me. The student can abuse me. Still, I, have good feelings for you, and still I don't feel like taking revenge on you. Still, I don't feel like punishing you. So that is the actual power. If in every relationship, if I have a identity that because I'm a mother, then the child has to be this way. But what if they're not that way? That is where my entire practice or my power comes in. So because it's all unpredictable, na? So if it's unpredictable, then they are not behaving how they should be according to me, and still that love and acceptance is not fading away. So that is my real power, that is my real karma. Otherwise, yes, we whatever I believe myself to be, that is what I project on you. So if I start seeing myself as a soul, then naturally I'll see you as a soul on a journey. This is a traveler on a journey. Then my relationship will have real respect. It will have real love. And this is actually doing good. Yeah, this is actually doing good. But it is not good if I disrespect who you are. Yeah. So it, yeah, seed is starting from how I see myself. And if I'm really firm and clear, then I don't have to work a lot on outer things. I don't have to work a lot on what I'm saying, what I'm doing. If someone's coming home, how many dishes I prepare. I don't have to think a lot on those lines, because um, if what happens if someone comes to our place, without any notice, and they arrive at 7:30 p.m. Obviously, it's dinner time, and you completely are shocked. You say that I will never do that to anyone, but they are here with the whole family, very happy, and you put your feelings aside and you ask them, what will you have? We were just going to make dinner. It is so nice you came, such a good time. And then they say, oh, make something, anything, anything. But then you take the pain to make the best dish and the three-course meal and everything. And next time you tell them that we are coming to your place, and they will just make some khichdi or something. Then do you want to do what you did, when they come back again? Will you still make that food? Will you still prepare three-course meal? Will you still take all that pain? So we are thinking that I did such a good karma. No? They came and I made everything. I was not feeling well, but still I made it. Still I cooked. Actually, that is all a very opposite of good karma. Because firstly, I am completely being inauthentic. You know, if I wasn't feeling good, then I should have, openly expressed that. But in our society, we are made to lie. We are constantly told that this is disrespect. If you tell the truth, that's why people are operating on extremes. Some people will tell the truth no matter what, and they are seen as straightforward and harsh and rude. And some will not tell the truth no matter what. So there has to be some starting line. And if I'm physically not feeling well, I will express that. Someone may take it as they are making excuses. They are, she's always like that, or they are disrespecting me. They are welcome to take it that way. But if I am 100% honest, if I'm 100% clear, then they will be mad at me for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 years. But that will be an authentic relationship. It will change after a time. But if today I lie to myself and I lie to them, oh, we were just thinking to make, paneer, oh, you came at the right time, and I'm making all these lies. Tomorrow, that inauthentic energy that we have created, of expectation, desire, it is just going to continue. And tomorrow I will be yelling at my family. Tomorrow I was not well. Yesterday I was not well. Still I cook the food. You guys, what are you doing? So it just creates this entire cycle of where nothing is right. And why? It's because of such a simple thing that you are not saying what you are feeling. Yeah. So, not saying necessarily to not cook, but if you're not feeling okay, you can say things, let's go outside and eat simple things. So, simplifying, things here is the main thing. simplifying things here. When I simplify here, then I don't have to worry a lot on what I'm saying, a lot on how it is taken. Because if it's coming from the right place, then today they may take it in some other way. Tomorrow it will be okay. Tomorrow they will understand. And this gives, a lot of space. Like how we may not be able to, if you're having a birthday party or something and you invite some friends over and two of them, last minute they say we can't come. Yeah. So whatever reasons they are making, excuses they are making, and we all know we make excuses because truth will not be entertained, no? So we all have to make excuses. So that is how we are all trained, and that is how we have all experienced that if you tell the truth, it is not taken the right way. So better make an excuse, cancel last minute. But you knew all along that I won't be able to make it, but better to say it, last minute. So if I take that rejection well, if I take that no at face value and it's okay, it's not a rejection of me, it's their circumstance, it's their situation, that's how the drama was for them. Then tomorrow when I have to say no, I don't have to go through this excess thoughts of thinking a lot, what reason to make this and that. I can just say things as they are. So taking a no, saying a no, that is all, someone has to start that. Yeah. So if four people start in four families, then there will be change somewhere. So someone has to start that. And because we, suppress our feelings for such a long time, that is where this bursting happens. We all know that. All these migraine, headache, these are causes of not being clear. So um, yeah, just law of karma really starts from simplifying my inner world. As I simplify that outer world, I don't have to worry too much about it, because what I'm saying, how someone is taking that, it's really their identities, their problem. I can help as much as possible, but if they're adamant to misunderstand, then let it be. Let it be, because what they are misunderstanding is this character that is again not me. So let me step back. Yeah. So as much as possible, I'm happy to clarify, happy to apologize, all that, but from the right place. Right place. So yeah. Any thoughts from online? Any comments from online? Anything from here? Final thoughts, Shakti? You've been silent today. You haven't heard any.
Yeah, just listening.
Become Shanti today. So any comments?
It's just been, my life was alive till today. Yeah. But now, yeah, I'm more vigilant about what to hold.
Yeah. Yeah. And always, you all will observe that whenever things are done from right mindset, then someone being upset, you just have to be patient. And once you pass that phase, it's a better friendship, it's a better understanding. So we try to, take the shortcut and, rather say something else, but say what you're feeling, those sort of things, then everything becomes easy, the more we simplify. So, yeah. Anything else?
Just felt like so beautiful way of looking at, karma, because like she said, I also felt the same, that karma, अच्छे कर्म करो, अच्छा ही होगा. But it's so different way of looking at it. And like you said that, if you, uh, things will come, situations will come, but if you react on it from a different mindset, that is what makes the difference in, future things.
Future things, yeah.
So I've been experiencing that. So like when I came here 2 weeks back, I was in a very chaotic mindset. But in the last 2 weeks with these sessions, with my changing, changed thinking, I can see a difference in myself, that, the situation is same, but I'm looking at it so differently.
Yeah.
And that's not getting me in that same panic,
Yeah.
anxious feeling, but I'm feeling that this is not permanent.
Yeah,
It will pass.
it will pass. Yeah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, precisely. Yeah. So really, when one last example of how doing good, like someone can someone cooks nice food and they've made everything. They've spent the whole day cooking. Nobody asked them to put so much effort, but they themselves are putting so much effort and all that. And as soon as the food is prepared, from the first second, their focus is, why is no one commenting? Why there's no. So you can see this is identities do this, An identity, I cook very well, then this is there.
This
So
is such a common thing, every day because I wasn't fond of cooking before I
Hmm.
moved to Australia. But of course, things are different here. You need to cook. And when I used to cook, I used to ask my husband every meal, how is it today? Is it better? So I stopped asking him one day. I'm like, you're not asking me because I know it's good. I know that I don't need a validation, from you
validation.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, these changes. So you can see how this identities are always ruling. So yeah. Does karma always work? Yes, this is a law of nature. Law of karma is the law of nature, and it is working for everyone and at all times. So even for others, identities, everything is taken care of. You don't need to, if someone is doing absolutely wrong and my motivation to take an action against them is that no one else will. Sometimes you can experiment that even if you don't do it, something will happen. So this is always it's always working for everyone and at all times. No one is free from that law. So yeah. Om Shanti. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.